New York correspondent Jessica Le Masurier, who joins me now live from the UN. Jessica, first of all, tell us a bit more about what Trump has had to say on Ukraine.
Well, it appears that he is making a major pivot on Ukraine. He's now saying that he thinks Ukraine can win the war and regain all of its territory. Now, when you consider what he was saying just a month ago, that Ukraine would have to make concessions, this is a huge change. Now, the diplomats who I've spoken to here at the United Nations all agree on one thing, and that is that Trump is unpredictable and that on the world stage can be very dangerous. So there is some caution following these comments from Trump. They all remember that Trump had said that he would, on the first day of his second term, resolve the war in Ukraine. Of course he didn't. And they say that, well, now perhaps he's doing this pivot because he's failed to resolve the war and he wants to save face, and he sees that this might be the best way to do it. Now, Zelensky himself has reacted with surprise because he was not necessarily expecting this change of heart from Trump. Trump in the past appeared to humiliate him in the Oval Office. Now he's paying him compliments, saying that he's a good fighter and saying that the United States is going to support Ukraine. He also even responded to a journalist's question about whether or not he thinks that NATO should shoot down Russian jets coming into NATO airspace with a yes. But one thing is for certain, that world leaders are always cautious with Trump because, as I said, he can be unpredictable.
So in just a few hours now, Jessica, the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is going to be addressing the UN General Assembly. Do we have any more information on what he actually might say now, given this latest turnaround from Donald Trump?
Yes, well, we expect that he might have been revising his speech somewhat. He has reacted with surprise to these comments. There were some images, a photo circulating, I think it was from the GA Hall, of Zelensky on his cell phone yesterday. It looked like he was working on his speech, and the caption was, "Even presidents have to revise at UNGA." So that was met with some chuckles. But yes, we expect him to call on world leaders to continue to support Ukraine, to call out Russia, to have a message, a further message for Trump. Perhaps he'll be pushing for some concrete commitments. He is speaking early on in the morning. Putin is not going to be attending the General Assembly. He rarely comes. In fact, the last time he came here in person, I think, was in 2015. Sergei Lavrov, his foreign minister, will be here and will be speaking on Sunday. So everyone's going to be listening very carefully to what Zelensky has to say. Perhaps he'll also say similar things to Macron about the global world order, the need to protect the rules-based order, protect the UN and international law. Certainly in Macron's speech yesterday, he characterized this, the war in Ukraine, the war between Russia and Ukraine, as a battle between freedom and imperialism.
Jessica.